talking. Will this capture? Mm, mm, mm. Dun-dun-dun. I don't know if this is the sound feature. Is this the people in? Oh, people are in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, sorry, this is my first time on YouTube. Never done this. So as people flood in, I just put a post on my story to let people know. Drop the join link, but drop those start sit questions in the comments. I'm able to see the live chat, so I can read all of them. I'll wait another 1 or 2 minutes, let the comments kind of flood in. And then I'll just go and answer through these questions. I know some surprise inactives here with Drake London. Didn't really expect him to be inactive, to be honest, but I really, really like Darnell Mooney, especially with Kirk Cousins. If there's anything I know about Kirk, is that he loves to hyper target his wide receivers. He should be a must start if you're in need of a start right away. Definitely love Darnell Mooney. So let's have a look at the questions. We got Stockman. Not sure what this little logo means next to your thing. You got the crown. Maybe that means you're a premium. I don't know. Drake May or Bo Nix. I think you got to still roll with Drake May here. I think it's super important to just kind of ride the hot hand. He has the rushing floor. Definitely a lot of upside as well. Bo Nix, I somewhat think this game could be sneaky under the total. Denver does have a strong defense. I'd expect them to kind of rebound after letting the Giants basically bully them around for 3.5 quarters. So I would definitely go with Drake May. And the other question here from Stockman. Okay, I guess everybody just gets the little crown with their comment number. I don't know. I've never done this, but Hunter Henry or Troy Franklin? Oh man, I know it is tight end day. It's National Tight End Day. If you're a betting man, the sports books have absolutely ruined the odds for all the touchdowns for the tight ends. It's brutal if you're getting running back odds for any tight end to score. So I wouldn't be chasing that. However, I would still go with Troy Franklin here. The matchup is absolutely gorgeous. And although I said that I don't expect this game to be super, super high scoring, I still think Troy Franklin's a safe play. I think him and Sutton will have enough volume to make them safe, valuable options. And then if the Patriots are controlling this game, it's going to be a sloppy run fest. New England against Cleveland. I wouldn't expect too much from the Patriots air game as well as the Browns. So think they're going to be churning out clock, a lot of good defense, but I would definitely still roll with Troy Franklin. Let's see. Jacob Grant. With London out, would you say Mooney, Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle, Kamara, or Pacheco? You got good options, my friend. I know that London's out. I wouldn't be like super, super fading away, but man, I would still go with Jalen Warren. I think he's definitely the safest volume play. In full PPR, he is a monster in the pass game. Some other options that I would consider. I mean, if you're down by a lot, or if you're not supposed to win your matchup, maybe you're playing the guy in first or second place. I would probably lean towards Darnell Mooney, but at home Sunday night, give me Jalen Warren. I think the Steelers are going to roll tonight. It's just a classic Tomlin spot, a get right spot, prime time. I mean, no one really expects them to win against the Packers, so I would definitely be all over the Steelers, playing as many assets as I can. Dab on Tap, good username. Okay, I guess the crown is just it gives it to the first three people. Okay, I'm starting to understand this now. Schultz or Otten? This one, man, it's tough. But Texans, I don't want any piece of their offense. I know a lot of questions in the comments were Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins. Give me Kate Otten in this one. I think Bucks Saints will be high scoring. I think Baker just can't go a game where he doesn't sling the ball at least 30 times. So you're getting the safe floor with Kate Otten, with obviously no Mike Evans. Um, so I would be pivoting away from Dalton Schultz. I think he'll be involved, but to think that just because of no Nico Collins that he's going to turn into a superstar is just outrageous in my opinion. So I would go with Kate Otten. I think he's one of my favorite kind of sneaky tight end starts that you can pick up off the waivers. Speaking of sneaky tight ends, I did try and tell you guys to snag Aronde Gadsden, but I hope you guys did. He looks to be a top 7 tight end rest of season. So definitely super excited about that. Jacob Grant had May or Baker Mayfield. This one I'm still rolling with Drake May. Drake May is a plug and play top 6 quarterback for me pretty much every single week going forward. This is a game they should win. They should roll, and he has been running a whole lot, especially in recent games. And I think this Browns defense, they got a great defensive four. They'll get pressure. The back end is pretty weak, so he can take shots deep. I would expect a good game from Diggs or Booty. I think Diggs probably finds the end zone for the first time. I know he strangely hasn't scored yet, but I would be counting on him to score today for anyone wagering. I think Diggs is worth a sneaky little anytime touchdown. While everyone focuses on betting on all the tight ends, maybe you zag a little bit, go with Stephon Diggs. Dab on tap. Mahomes or Allen? Man. Give me Josh Allen because I think this game will be a little bit more competitive. Sneaky. Andy Dalton loves to be in shootouts when he's the starter. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to kind of keep up in the first half, which forces Josh Allen to keep the foot on the gas pedal. So I think Josh Allen is probably my QB1 this week. Mahomes isn't too far after. He would be around QB3 for me. But I just think without Jaden Daniels, they're just going to be up by 20 like they were against the Raiders in an instant. And you're probably just going to get a lot of Pacheco, Brashad Smith in the second half. They don't want to risk any injuries. I think this game will be out of control early. So I would certainly go with Josh Allen. Okay. Pick 3, Mason Taylor, Dalton Schultz, Downs, or Leggett. I like the double tight end option. Very interesting here. Uh, I'm not starting Mason Taylor, not with Justin Fields starting. He is out of my lineups. I know I tried telling you guys he's a good start with Tyrod Taylor. He's been on snaps 93% of the plays. He's kind of a bell cow tight end, if that's what you want to call it. But with Justin Fields, we saw it in last game. He was 0 for 0 in the first half with Fields, and then he magically finished with like 35 yards, all with Tyrod Taylor. So I would not go with Mason Taylor, and I would just pick the rest here with Dalton Schultz. He's a safe start. Don't love playing him, but Josh Downs and Leggett should garner enough targets to make you a little bit happy. Let's see what we got. Okay, I got Fannin, Waddle, and Tez Johnson. I can start one of them in my flex. I'm leaning Fannin because of National Tight End Day, and I imagine they will use him more. I can't believe everyone is talking about National Tight Ends Day, which makes me think that it's going to reverse itself and that everyone's wasting their time on it. I would still go with Jalen Waddle. This is Jalen Waddle, and it's rather easy in my opinion. Waddle is going to get enough targets to make him a must start, especially against this Falcons defense. They've been very hot and cold, to be quite honest. Tua looking for a big bounce back, only 100 yards passing against the Browns. In a dome, I'd expect this to be a sneaky, high-scoring game, back and forth. Kirk Thuggins airing it out, so I would go with Jalen Waddle and kind of fade Harold Fannin, if you will. From Martin Brunels, we got Josh Downs, Kayshon Boutte, or Hubbard for half PPR. Appreciate it. Well, I appreciate the comment. I would go with Chuba Hubbard in this one. Josh Downs, I'm not too bullish as a start, to be quite honest. Alec Pierce looked great in the wide receiver 2 role. I don't think he's going to get played out of that as far as the Colts offense goes. I also think they won't need to throw the ball much against the Titans. It'll be a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor. So Downs would be out of the question for me. And then Kayshon Boutte, I like the high upside flyer play but Chuba Hubbard is definitely the safest volume option as far as getting these snaps, getting these targets in a game that they will kind of target the deep ball. Downs or Marks? From Tanner Runyon, I would go with Woody Marks. I think Woody Marks is a great start this week against the Niners. They have absolutely no one, unless you're counting on the Iowa State boys to kind of keep up with the Niners. So I think Woody Marks, the takeover is here. He's a great start. Dalton Schultz or Mason Taylor just for today. Dalton Schultz. I'm not starting Mason Taylor. Not with Justin Fields. I mentioned that earlier. Dalton Schultz, the safer option. I would lean with that. Taylor, more of kind of the yards after the catch guy, but give me the facilitated targets with Schultz. Mooney or Pickens? This is a funny one, but I'm going George Pickens. I know a lot of talk is Surtain is going to be on Pickens most of the time because he's on the outside. Surtain likes guarding the outside. He's not going to cover CD. I wouldn't make too much of this. I think they're going to move Surtain around, so it's going to be a mix of CD and Pickens. They both are going to eat. They both always eat, so I think the high upside of Pickens is worth it over just kind of. I would just kind of bet on the talent of Pickens here. Hey man, which one do I sit of all of these four? Chuba, Chase Brown, Worthy, or Mooney? I'm sitting Chuba Hubbard. Chase Brown, I really like. I think he's a great bet to score a touchdown today. Bengals 6.5 point favorites against the Jets. They'll be controlling the tempo. Xavier Worthy, one of my favorite starts this week. I think he was not used at all in Rashee Rice's first game back. But now he's in his usual role where he can actually kind of run the deep ball. I'd expect them to take shots in the first half and where they connect on a big touchdown. And then Mooney, like we've been saying here in the first 10 minutes of the live, with Kirk Cousins airing it out as the wide receiver one, I really like his outlook. So I would be starting Chuba. But all four are great options, especially in this week where everyone is on bye. Hey, so now that London and Evans is out, I need to choose between Mooney, Tez, or McMillan. This is Tet McMillan. Tet McMillan with Andy Dalton. I know he was hyper targeting Xavier Legette. I wouldn't make too much of this. I think the Panthers are going to be back and forth in this game. I think Dalton is going to target the best players on the field, and they're going to get their first round rookie involved. The talent's real. He's looked great on the field. It's just going to come to fruition with Andy Dalton, who can actually throw him the ball. So I wouldn't make too much about Xavier Legette kind of out targeting him. I think that was a product of game script and kind of matchups. But I really like Tez this week, or Tet, sorry. Mooney or Scary Terry? Give me Darnell Mooney. I'm not too bullish on Scary Terry. Obviously missing his starting quarterback, as well as coming off of what a lot of people think was a sports hernia. I know it was kind of initially reported as a hip, then a quad, then a core. So there's been a lot of speculation, but the bottom line is that he missed multiple weeks. I don't think you're just going to give him kind of his usual snap count going back into the lineup. So I would kind of hold your horses as far as starting him and definitely go with Mooney. Okay. Oh man, I just lost my spot. Oh, okay. Then Tucker Schultz start one. Oh, Tucker Craft. Theo. Yeah. Okay. Stav Ash said Darnell Mooney, Tez, or Tet McMillan. I think I just answered this one, but Tet McMillan. With London out, start Rico or Zay. No Lamar. I would be going with Zay Flowers in this one. He is a guy that they are going to design targets for him. It's not like he's a big body wide receiver like a T. Higgins almost, where his kind of method of getting fantasy points is a lot of touchdowns, a lot of deep balls that have to be connected on with accuracy. Zay Flowers, they can design wide receiver screens. He's going to get touches. He's going to get open. I think he's a very safe play. Jeremy, got the crown next to his name. Also don't know what that means. Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Mooney, or Worthy. I think I answered this one, but give me Chase Brown, Mooney, and Worthy. So sit Chuba. Chase Brown or Rico Dowdle here. And Hurts or May. So Jalen Hurts against the Giants. Man, him or Drake May. I would go with Jalen Hurts. I mean, they're just gonna butt touch him to a touchdown. You just know it's gonna happen. So give me Jalen Hurts and then Chase Brown or Rico. Give me Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown this week against the Jets. The Jets are quitting. They're at the point of the season where they're quitting. So I would not be surprised if they get down 20 early and then they kind of lay down and Chase Brown runs on them the whole second half. Wow, I can't believe London is out. Now I'm down Malik, London, and Hampton. Luckily, I think London will be back very soon, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Would you start Otten, Downs, or Bill PPR? I have Ibuka at least. Yes, that's a very nice consolation that you have Emeka Ibuka. I would go with Bill here. I think Bill is still a very safe option. The Commanders might sneaky hang around a little bit with Mariota. Also, a starting running back is going to get his volume. So I would definitely treat him as higher than Cade Otton or Josh Downs. AJ Kahn. Is it crazy to want to sit Lamb for Mooney? Yes, absolutely. Just because of PS2 shadowing Lamb. Yes, I get your reasoning. However, CD Lamb plays a lot in the slot. Sertan doesn't love shadowing the slot. He's more of an outside corner. That's where he's usually put against their best X wide receiver, which would be Pickens in this game. I'm not saying that he's not going to guard CD Lamb if he's torching Riley Moss or someone of that standard. So I wouldn't be fading CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be just fine, especially with this Dallas defense, who's going to let up a ton of points. They're going to have to throw. Both him and Pickens should have great games. Eric Hartman, desperate, flex and wide receiver 2. Cade Otton, Kayshon Boutte, Alec Aomanor, full PPR, need flex and wide receiver 2. All right, so we need a wide receiver out of Kayshon Boutte or Aomanor. I would go with Boutte in this one. I think he has a higher upside, especially if you're starting two of these guys. You're looking for upside, especially in your flex or your wide receiver 2. I'd assume you have a lot of bye weeks. I hope I'm not making that wrong and that's your real team, but I would go with Boutte in this one. And then for the other flex, Cade Otton or Alec Aomanor, I would go with Cade Otton. I think he's probably got a higher likelihood of a touchdown in this Bucks against Saints game, divisional. I think they're going to try and take away the deep play. See a lot of kind of check downs. Cade Otton probably finish like 6 for 55. Maybe you get a touchdown, but a very solid flex play nonetheless. Schultz or Mason Taylor. I think I answered this before, but give me Dalton Schultz, Henry Contreras, Troy Franklin, Tez Johnson, or Kincaid in the flex. So Tez Johnson, Kincaid in the flex. Kincaid's been limited all week. I don't know if he's fully 100% at this point. I wouldn't be thrilled to start him, especially in full PPR. I like him more in standard or half. He's not a big reception guy, but more of a touchdown upside play. I would go with Troy Franklin in this one. Great matchup. I think him and Sutton are going to eat. And Tez Johnson's really close behind, but I would definitely trust Troy Franklin. He's had a higher target share. He's been doing it longer. He was the starter from day one, so I would trust Troy Franklin in a better matchup. Boutte or Alec Pierce? Give me Alec Pierce. I would definitely love to be starting Alec Pierce against the Titans. He's a great play in my eyes against the Titans. He looked absolutely fantastic in all the games that he played. I think he's averaging over around 70 receiving yards. It's seemingly he's always open on the deep routes, which makes sense just because they're selling out on the run. So I would definitely go with Alec Pierce over Kayshon Boutte. Monangai or Noel in the flex, non-PPR. So non-PPR, give me Kyle Monangai. He is the safer floor. He's going to get more touches. Ben Johnson wants to run this committee, and it's actually kind of working, so I don't see them going away from it. It is a good matchup against the Ravens, who have just been brutal against the run. So give me Kyle Monangai. Jeremy, thanks, man. Anytime. Let's see. Start Mooney over Judkins. No way. You're starting Quinshon Judkins no matter what every single week. Despite it not being a great matchup, I think I saw a stat. The Patriots haven't let up a 20-yard carry all season long. As shocking as that is, but I would still be going with Quinshaw and Judkins. AJ Khan, Marks or Pacheco in a tough spot with bye apocalypse. Yes, I think a lot of people are. The Lions and Rams really check off a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I would go with Isaiah Pacheco. I really like him this week against the Commanders. Prime time, home. Chiefs have to win. I think he will be leaned on. I'm not too bullish on Brashad Smith. A lot of his carries were all in the fourth quarter. So definitely give me Pacheco over Woody Marks. Stockman, McLaurin, or Troy Franklin. Give me, man, this is tough, but give me Troy Franklin. I'm just not. I'm not starting Terry until I see him be fully healthy and integrated into the offense. Okay. Javante or Swift for the flex? Give me Javante Williams revenge game. He's absolutely holding this personal. I don't think he likes Sean Payton. I don't think he likes the way he was used. They preferred Audric Estime, other running backs to be in the system with him, but he has been as good as they come, especially in a bell cow role. I know this Broncos defense is tough, but Javante, I mean, he is going to ball out in this revenge game. From Robert Monopoly, great last name. Mooney against Miami or Diggs versus Cleveland. Give me Darnell Mooney. I really like him this week, especially with Kirk Cousins at the helm. They're going to be airing it out. No Drake London, obviously. Shocking and active, especially as a late week addition to the injury report. So give me Darnell Mooney. Although I do like Diggs as well as a start, but give me Darnell Mooney. I think he's higher upside and kind of a safer floor. Take a quick little pause here. If you guys are still in the live, make sure to subscribe. I know I just started the page. So if you have time, just kind of drop the subscribe button. I'm not sure where it is on your screen, but it takes only 5 seconds, and I'd really appreciate it. So let's dive back into the questions. I know that's why you guys joined. Dak or Flacco from Caden here. Give me Dak all day. Dak is just, he's as safe as they come. He's going to get 250 and 2. That's the floor. The ceiling is obviously if the Broncos keep scoring, the Cowboys will keep scoring. This offense is a juggernaut. I'd expect him to kind of be as whatever the Broncos are. They're going to be in a close back and forth game. I really like Dak this week. And definitely over Flacco. I mean, Flacco had a legacy game on Thursday night, but I wouldn't make too much of it. Matthew Ligue, I think I pronounced that right. Wandale or DK? Give me DK. Aaron Rodgers wants to stick it to Green Bay. I'm sure offensive coordinator Aaron Rodgers is going to show up tonight, and we're going to see a lot of throwing the ball. Which means a lot of DK Metcalf. And Wandale, last time they played the Eagles, they didn't have Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's supposed to be back this week. That's pretty much all they have to stop as far as the wide receivers for the Giants. I'd expect this to be a divisional, tough, gritty under game. So definitely give me DK Metcalf. Also Tet. So it would be Wandale, DK, or Tet. Same applies. Give me DK Metcalf. Eric Hartman also got the crown next to his name. Not sure what that means. As a Genti and Bucky Irving owner, should I look to sell? I'm 5-2. Oh, I wouldn't be like selling. I don't think you can sell Bucky Irving for much right now. I wouldn't sell Genti at this point right now. If either of them have a big week, I would definitely try and sell Ashton Genti. I still think he has name value. Everyone after his 3-touchdown game against the Bears was all over him. They all wanted him. If you can cash in on Genti, maybe get some more depth as far as like you get Judkins plus, you go get Derrick Henry plus. Is definitely a move that I would make. As long as you're getting a running back in return, I would really like that move. Just because I don't think right now is the time to sell. No one's all those CD Lamb owners in comparison to Bucky, all of those guys who waited all that time for him to get healthy aren't just going to sell right now. So you shouldn't either. wait till Bucky's back, wait till he's back incorporated into this offense. But I wouldn't be too bullish on Bucky's outlook going forward, to be quite honest with you. Just because Rashad White's looked very good and Bucky, obviously small frame. These were the concerns going into the year. These were the concerns that made him a day two or day three pick. It's because they don't know if he can be a bell cow workload while staying healthy. And it's proven that he just got hurt, lower frame. So, do I think he's going to be a bust? No. But is he going to go right back to 20, 25 opportunities a game? I don't think so. Start Tez Johnson, Calvin Austin, or Shakir. Choose one. Give me Tez. I think Tez is way more upside than Shakir in this one. Against the Saints, they're going to air it out. Igbuka's still limited in practice with the hamstring. I don't know if he's 100%. It might be like 80 or 90%, but give me Tez Johnson. He's being incorporated more and more into this offense. And if you watch the Monday Night Football, he could have had like 90 yards. There was a lot of miscues as far as, I mean, he ran right into Mike Evans. He also had a few balls thrown right over his head. I don't think Baker has adjusted for how short he is. But I think he gets right in this spot and would definitely start him. From Ian Gonzalez, start two, Mason Taylor, Ingram, or Algier. In parentheses, I'm cooked. Are you cooked realistically? No. This one's easy for me, though. Give me Evan Ingram and Tyler Algier. I think Ingram's a better start than Mason Taylor in this one. Better matchup, better quarterback, and higher touchdown likelihood. And Tyler Algier, a lot of people would say, yeah, it's a terrible start, backup running back essentially, but you're playing the Dolphins. He also has a few games of these every single year where he'll end up with like 10 to 14 carries in a game the Falcons win. And I wouldn't be shocked if he finds his way into the end zone, to be quite honest. So I would definitely love to be starting Tyler Algier if you can, especially during the bye apocalypse here. From Daniel Smith, Chase Brown or Jalen Warren, full PPR. Now, this one is tough. I know it wouldn't seem tough on paper just because of the seasons people are having. Chase Brown, better matchup, but I would still roll with Jalen Warren. He should have scored last week. I'm not sure why they obviously called a holding call on one of his touchdowns, but they found their way into the red zone a lot and they ran it a lot, or they threw the ball a lot, which hurt his fantasy outlook. But I would be very, very bullish on Jalen Warren. It's not like the Packers defense has been great against the run, so I'd expect them to establish it. And Warren's definitely the safer back in this potent offense. Mason Taylor or Schultz? Give me Dalton Schultz. I'm not starting Mason Taylor really anywhere, to be quite honest. With Justin Fields now as the quarterback, he has not looked good. And through the first half of last game with Justin Fields, Mason Taylor 0 for 0. And then once he left the game, Tyrod Taylor actually got him to around 40 yards. So I wouldn't be too thrilled to start Mason Taylor, especially limited in practice all week with a new injury. So I know he's a little banged up. I wouldn't be surprised if he dips below like 80, 70% of snaps this week just to try and keep him healthy. So give me Dalton Schultz. From Swift's the Major, that's the username. We got Mims, Booty, or Bourne for wide receiver 2. Enrico, Brashad Smith, or RJ Harvey, RB2. So I'll start with the running back 2. This one is rather easy for me. It's Rico Dowdle. Against the Bills, really struggled against the run. They struggle every single week. They haven't figured it out, especially in the red zone. Don't be surprised if the Panthers just run it 4 straight times if they have to. Really like them in this game to kind of put up points with Andy Dalton. Am I a Bryce Young hater? Maybe. I just don't think he gets the ball to his playmakers. So I think that Andy Dalton should be able to move the ball a little bit more efficiently than Bryce Young will. So you're going to be in a committee with Rico, but I really like him more than your other options. Because Brashad Smith and RJ Harvey, there's a chance that both of them get 2 carries. And then wide receiver 2, Marvin Mims, Kayshon Boutte, or Bourne. Give me Kayshon Boutte. Really like Booty in this game. I think he's a high upside play. I'm fading Kendrick Bourne at this point. I think the shoe has dropped. I know he's still got Mac Jones, his old quarterback, throwing him the rock, but really disappointed people last week, and I think that's going to be a trend to continue. I expect this to be a lot of Juwan Jennings, a lot of George Kittle, and a lot of Christian McCaffrey, which kind of squeezes him out. So from blading, we got Sutton, Alave, or DK. Choose two. The auto one is going to be Cortland Sutton. He is automatically in your lineup. To be completely honest with you, I think I have him as my wide receiver 4 this week against the Cowboys. Everybody eats against the Cowboys, so he will as well. And then the other, so we're choosing between Olave and DK. Give me DK Metcalf. I think this offense kind of flows better than the Saints, to be quite honest. Against the Packers, I'm not overly concerned with the matchup. I know Aaron Rodgers' revenge game against the Packers. I think he's going to be airing it out a whole lot. So I like him in this matchup to definitely get a touchdown, be heavily utilized, all of the above. Dennis the Menace, Hall or Judkins? Obviously, Brees Hall, better matchup, but give me Quinshon Judkins. I love the way they're using him. I know in full PPR, he might be slightly lower just due to the fact that he doesn't catch the ball. They bring in other backs. They've been using Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson just a little bit, but Brees Hall only 54% of the snaps last week. I know that comes as a surprise because Isaiah Davis only got a few carries, but he was very utilized in the past game. So it's not like Brees Hall is this massive, massive workhorse running back at this point. Also missed a lot of practice this week, so I wouldn't be too thrilled to be starting Brees Hall. So give me Quinshon Judkins. David Beer said Alec Aomanor, Jalen Knoll, or Alec Pierce. Give me Alec Pierce in this one. Really like Alec Pierce against the Titans. He's looked great, passed the eye test. Josh Downs coming off the concussion. I think he's going to stick in this role where he's getting like 6 or 7 targets a game. Really efficient on the deep plays. It just feels like he's due for one of those deep touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised if the Titans sell out for the run like all the other teams have been doing. So I would definitely go with Alec Pierce over Manor and Jalen Knoll. Swips the Major said Wandale or Zay Flowers. So in this one, give me Zay Flowers. I know you guys, without Lamar Jackson, a lot of people want to bench Zay Flowers. He's not your prototypical X wide receiver that is reliant on touchdowns and downfield targets. They can manufacture touches for Zay Flowers. I'd expect him to have a safe floor just due to the fact that he has a lot of wide receiver screens, a lot of end arounds. They'll get him open and in space where he can make people miss. He is a safe play. I really like Zay Flowers, so I would go with him over Wandale. I'm not too bullish on Wandale as well. Sam Zuzas, K. Dotton, Kyle Pitts, or Troy Franklin. Pick 2, half PPR. Give me K. Dotton and Troy Franklin. Not too bullish on Kyle Pitts. If you watched the Falcons at all last year, with Kirk Cousins, they never used Kyle Pitts, so I wouldn't be surprised if that does continue here today. So give me Troy Franklin in a plus matchup against Cowboys and K. Dotton minus Mike Evans and all the other weapons. So he profiles to be the safer option as well. Let's see, we got Darnell Mooney or Chase Brown. Give me Chase Brown. I love Darnell Mooney, but it's always going to be more favorable to kind of start your running backs. Despite them being in the same tier, for me, I really like Chase Brown in this matchup. I think they're going to dominate the Jets. I don't think this one's going to be close. I think Flacco looks good. They're going to control the tempo. The Jets are giving up, essentially, in my eyes. There's these teams every single year where they hit a wall and then they just kind of give up. Obviously, your owner saying your quarterback can't throw the ball at all. It's probably not a great sign in the locker room, so I'd expect the Bengals to dominate and Chase Brown to really have his first get right game where he's efficient on the ground, multiple touchdowns. I don't think that's a shocking take. Tampa Bay defense or Bears with Lamar out? Give me Tampa Bay. They're the better defense. I think that's a lot of what matters in fantasy is actually what defenses are performing well. The Bears defense is not good. They struggle against the ground. They also have struggled against the pass. The Ravens know this. They'll be leaning on Derrick Henry. Am I going to say that there's like a higher likelihood of the Bears getting like 20 plus? Maybe. But there's also, I would be shocked if they finish outside of like within 3 to 8 points because they're going to get Derrick Henry all game long, pretty much down their throat. I'd expect Baltimore to lean on the ground game. And Tampa Bay, they're in a must win spot here against the Saints. Spencer Rattler showed himself last week. He finally showed himself as the Spencer Rattler that we all know. So I would be expecting kind of multiple turnovers and Tampa Bay defense to look good. What he said, you said DK over Olave, but didn't Olave go off last week and he's playing against a bad pass defense? These are all very true. It's more so just not really ranking just off the past week. Olave, I think that was his first touchdown of the week. He had two, which is great for fantasy, but going forward, I don't think that's a sticky stat, especially in the Saints offense. So definitely give me DK. DK or Chase Brown in the flex, full PPR. Oh man. Oh man. Give me DK in full PPR. Just because I think he is in a higher tier than Chase Brown, just because we haven't seen it before in Chase Brown. Yes, they're playing the Jets. Yes, I think they're going to dominate, but until we fully see it, give me the proven commodity of DK. From Justin Leclerc here, we got, should I play Woody Marks or Mooney in flex? Full PPR. This is Mooney, and it's rather easy for me. Kirk Cousins loves to air it out. I'd expect that to continue in this Week 8 matchup against the Dolphins. I think in a dome, in a must-win spot, it's going to be a lot of back and forth. Kirk versus Tua. A lot of points on the board. No London, so Darnell Mooney. If there's one thing I know about Kirk Cousins, he loves to hyper target his wide receivers. So I think he's got a very safe floor. Although I do love Woody Marks this week, I just don't love starting Texans assets if I have to. But yeah, give me Darnell Mooney. Think I'm up to speed on the questions. So continue to drop your questions. I'll read through all of them. We've had a lot of good ones. And I know we're new to the YouTube. We're new to the YouTube live. We're new to the scene. So if you have the time, just hit the subscribe while I'm reading through these questions. I think it only takes you like 5 seconds, but it would be great. From Raphael, here we got Darnell Mooney or Worthy. Give me Darnell Mooney. I think he's a top 18 play this week. I know I had him just outside my 24 with Drake London in. I've bumped him up. He's likely around wide receiver 16 or 17 for me. Worthy, I really like the play here with Xavier Worthy prime time. I think this is a get right spot. He's finally in his natural role here where he can take the top off the defense. Rashid Rice is now kind of that over the middle, easy targets, which I think if you have Travis Kelce, you should be selling high right now for whatever you can get. He's definitely kind of taken a back seat. There was one blown coverage, which allowed him to get a 45-yard catch. But other than that, I think this is just Rashid Rice is going to soak up all of his targets. So give me Darnell Mooney. From Blading here, we got Olave or Rome. Give me Rome Odunze. He's missed out on multiple touchdowns just due to bad calls or just simply being a foot out of bounds in recent weeks. And the Bears really haven't had to throw the past few weeks. They've been controlling games. Now, is this going to happen all of the year? No. It's because they're playing terrible teams. I think the Ravens will keep it close. I think they'll also score some points. They're motivated. You can't fake desperation. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears have to score. They have to throw the rock. So definitely give me Odunze, but definitely two great options. All right, we're up to speed. Continue dropping those start sits in the comments below and hit that subscribe if you can. Um, for a friend of mine now, I'm sure it is Raphael here. We got Terry McLaurin or Alec Pierce. I would start Terry. I also would start Terry. That's the line for me. I'm not thrilled to start Terry. I think he's going to be limited snaps, but I am going to trust the talent. I'm going to trust that his talent demands targets from Mariota. Obviously, no Jaden Daniels, but I would definitely rather start him than Alec Pierce, who we also have target concerns with Josh Downs entering the lineup now. So give me Terry McLaurin. It is closer than you think, but I think you got to trust your stars in this one. I like this live. I like the YouTube live. It's a good feeling, to be honest. Also, it's a lot easier to read the comments, to be quite honest. Um, all right. I guess if you guys want to hear kind of my game previews or what I think is going to happen as far as some teams that I like to keep it close, maybe people betting on the games, I'll list off some touchdown scores that I really like this week. To start off, I really like Saquon Barkley in his return against the Giants. He only had 8 carries against the Giants last time. He was very efficient on them, so I'd expect them to lean on him in this game. So I really like Saquon to score. I really like Chase Brown to score in a game that I think they'll dominate the Jets. The Jets are quitting. They're a quitting franchise right now. Cortland Sutton, I think, is great value to score a touchdown this week against the Dallas defense. They just give them up to everybody on the opposing team. So I think that's good value. And then another player in that game is going to be Javonte Williams in a revenge game against his former team. I think the locker room knows that he wants to get in the end zone. He wants to prove a point to them. So I'd expect them to lean on Javonte, especially in the red zone. I think that's a good, solid play. From Blading here, do you think Derrick Henry will do good? Yes, I do. The Bears are terrible against the run. This is not, yes, they can load up the box, they can do whatever they want, but Derrick Henry's a freak athlete, and they are terrible against the run. We saw Ashton Genty score 3 touchdowns on him. We've seen almost everybody they play have a great rushing game. So I would definitely be starting Derrick Henry. From Charles John, not sure if you're subscribed. Hit the subscribe if you can. Harold Fannin or Cade Otton? Give me Harold Fannin. I really like him in this matchup. I also really like the talent. I think this is going to be a breakout game for him. Against the Patriots, who have struggled against the tight end position, I think the team knows that. It's going to be in the game plan. Get Harold Fannin involved early. One thing we do know is that Dylan Gabriel does not like to throw it deep. He does not like to throw it intermediate. So it's going to be a lot of short targets. So if you're in full PPR, I think Harold Fannin is a safe option as well. Or do I start both with one on the flex over Woody Marks? No, you always got to start the running backs over the tight ends in most of these situations, especially Fannin or Otton, which aren't proven commodity tight ends. I know it's National Tight Ends Day. Everybody knows it is, but give me Woody Marks over them, to be quite honest. And I think the takeover is happening. Yes, it's on a bad offense. Yes, they're missing Nico Collins, but the volume alone is going to get you a safer floor than playing one of the tight ends in the flex. So give me Woody Marks. I also kind of like him in this matchup against the Niners. Their D line specifically is banged up. So definitely go with Woody and Harold Fannin. And I'll continue on my little game preview rant here as we go through the comments. So we got a question here, new one from Melissa. Pick 3: Rice, Higgins, Flowers, Debo, DK. These are actually really good options. I like the options at hand. Rashee Rice is 1-1 for me. He is an auto start. He's an auto start every week in this offense. So give me Rashee. DK Metcalf, I would be starting. And so now we're between T. Higgins or Zay Flowers. Against the Bears, actually give me Zay Flowers over T. Higgins. I think this Bengals offense might come a little bit down to earth. Also, I don't think they're going to have to throw the whole game. I think they're going to get up early, lean on Chase Brown. We won't see a 400-yard Flacco game, unfortunately, in my opinion. So give me Rice, DK, and Zay Flowers for the three wide receivers. Let's see. Charles John here again. We got my wide receivers for this week are Mooney, Worthy, and Franklin. I have Downs on the bench. Would you keep him benched? Yes, I would keep Josh Downs benched. Coming off a concussion and his replacement, I say replacement, but Alec Pierce, who stepped up into the wide receiver 2 role, looked fantastic. Does that mean he's going to keep the role and be the second target? We don't know, but I know he's going to get a lot more looks just because how much offense has been contributed to him in the games that he's been active. I really like Alec Pierce this week. I think he's a good pick, a sneaky little stream start here. So I would keep Josh Downs on the bench. He really hasn't flashed with Daniel Jones, to be honest. It's been more of the Pittman show and Tyler Warren. So he's definitely down the line in the pecking order. So I would definitely keep your lineup how it is. Another one here from Melissa, Kincaid or Kelsey. I think you got to ride the hot hand with Kelsey. Give me one more week of Travis Kelsey. There are certain guys where I actually do think the National Tight Ends Day matters. And two specifically are George Kittle and Travis Kelsey, obviously like the founders of it. I think there's a good chance Travis Kelsey gets in the end zone. I would normally go with Kincaid, but being limited in practice – it's just not a good sign, especially after the bye week. So give me Travis Kelsey in the tight end slot. So just some other game preview notes. I know we're 13 minutes away from kickoff. Some teams that I think will actually keep it close. I think the Browns will keep it close with the Patriots. I know it's shocking to say, but I think this defense will pose problems in the Patriots offense. So I definitely would like them with the points. We got another question here. Which two at flex? Mooney, Franklin, Dowdle, or Algier? Darnell Mooney is an auto play for me. So Darnell Mooney for sure. And then give me Rico Dowdle. So those would be my two. I think Rico's a safe play. He looked a lot better than Chuba in that last game. Bills struggle against the run, so give me them. And then obviously no Drake London, so Darnell Mooney is going to be a great, great start. If for everyone still here, feel free to click the subscribe button. I know it probably takes you like 5 seconds, but I'd really appreciate it. While you're here, I'm going to try and make these a weekly thing on YouTube here. It's a lot easier for me, to be honest. I really like the chat feature. It's a lot easier to read, a lot easier to set up, to be quite honest. So I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are. We're 10 minutes away from kickoff. Week 8, these are where we make the playoff push. These are where we kind of solidify our teams before the trade deadline. Little preview for you guys who are still here, obviously. I will be making a post. I'll probably post it later today of NFL trade candidates. So a little prediction on where I think certain guys will land at the deadline. So stay tuned on that. I do think Breece Hall, Rashid Shaheed, even David Njoku are names to monitor ahead of the deadline. We got a question, second league here. Chase Brown or Tet? Give me Tet McMillan. I think Andy Dalton is going to target him a whole lot. I know he targeted Xavier Legette a ton in this past week, but I wouldn't make too much of it. I think he's going to get the ball to his most talented wide receiver, which is Tet McMillan. So I'd definitely be starting Tet over Chase Brown. Both are great starts, so I think you got two options. But give me Tet, the better talent. I think he's due for a breakout game as well against this Bills defense. I know they got their first round rookie cornerback back in Maxwell Hairston, but I don't think this is going to make much of a difference. Their defense has been absolutely garbage. I don't see any reason why that would not continue. Appreciate it. Anytime. Happy to help everyone. So continue dropping those last minute questions. It's stressful times. I know last 10 minutes, blood's juicing up a little bit. From Stockman, Jonnu, Spears, or Franklin at flex. Give me Troy Franklin. Definitely the safest play out of all three. Also, the highest upside, Jonnu Smith splitting time with Freiermuth, as well as Darnell Washington, who also scored. So give me Franklin, especially also over Tyjae Spears. AT supremacy. Hi, man. Quick question. With London out, do I go with Tyjae Spears or Bourne as deep league flex? Give me Kendrick Bourne. I think it's very close in my eyes, but I do think there's a higher likelihood of Bourne having a good game than there is Tyjae Spears. I'm no mastermind, but I think I could give you the Tyjae Spears game log just because it happens every single week. Titans will get down, they'll use him. He'll be 7 for like 25 on the ground, and then 3 for 20 on the air. So you're putting a guy in your lineup that you know is going to get 4 or 5 points. To be quite honest with you, at least with starting Kendrick Bourne, there is a chance that he continues his hot streak with Mac Jones. So I'd definitely go with Kendrick Bourne. From Michael, I'm not going to try the last name; it's too long for me. Um, do I start Wendell? I'm assuming this is Wandale. So Wandale or Chase Brown. Give me Chase Brown. I really like him in this matchup. Favorable matchup. I think he's going to be leaned upon heavily, especially if they get up early. He can be featured in the second half, bell cow usage. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scores maybe once or twice against this Jets team that is essentially quitting. And should I start Kincaid or Otten? Give me Dalton Kincaid. One thing's for sure, without Kincaid, this offense kind of looked broken, to be quite honest with you. I think they need him. So I would definitely go with Dalton Kincaid over Otten. I really like Kincaid. Despite him missing multiple practices, or I should say being limited, but is not the greatest sign coming off an injury and then still being limited. Um, but I would definitely go with Kincaid. Could also throw in Ertz or Johnson, assuming this is Juwan Johnson in flex, but appreciate it. Yeah, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be tossing the tight ends in over them, to be quite honest with you. Definitely go with what you got already. I know it is National Tight Ends Day. People love to start them this week. I think the pendulum was swung a little bit too far, so wouldn't be loading up on tight ends in the flex spot. Here we go. Just a reminder, if you guys have 5 seconds before kickoff here, hit the subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I know we're trying to grow here. This is the first time I've been live on YouTube. I really enjoy it. So try and make this a routine here. Raphael, I like your opinion. So I'm going to ask a league question. Let's hear it. QB, Dak, really like it. Chase, Collins, Sutton, Worthy, Ridley, and Mooney, elite wide receivers. Running backs, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, Rico, and Hubbard. And then tight ends, Njoku and Gadsden. I'm 4-3, thinking if I need to trade or just wait. I'm worried about Nico, but I just traded Keenan and JK for him. I don't think that's a bad trade, to be honest. You have enough depth, so I like getting Nico Collins. What I would actually do is probably try and flip him again. If you can flip like Nico and Bucky and get an elite running back, I would probably do it. I think your running back room is a little thin, so if you can move any combo, I think you got enough depth to support it. So Rico and if you can package Rico and Ridley, almost Ridley, Mooney, and Rico, and you can package to get a serviceable running back, like maybe like an Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, who I think could have a strong finish to the year. Bengals play terrible teams in the next few weeks. So to make that playoff push, I think I would be targeting Chase Brown just as another asset to have while Bucky continues to miss time. And then when he comes back, you're not sure how much he's going to be involved with Rashad White playing such good ball. Matchups are tough for both. Yeah, sorry, meant Theo Johnson. Yeah, so even more, I would not be going with Theo Johnson. Like him with Dart, but last time against Philly was rough. Yeah, I wouldn't be spending too much thought on Theo Johnson, especially this week. All right. I think we're at the bottom of the questions, but continue throwing them in if you got them. And we are T minus 5 minutes. from kickoff. Drop your records in the chat. I'm curious how you guys have been doing. Um, just know you're never out of it, to be quite honest. Another question here, thoughts on Devin Neal? I think he's a very talented running back. I actually had him rather high in Dynasty before the season. I think the Saints will kind of like to use Devin Neal. Sorry, we got a quick all caps message here from gameplay. Uh, Justin Fields or Mariota? This one, oh man. I really want to say Justin Fields, but I can't. So give me Marcus Mariota. He's the better quarterback, better passer, probably a safer floor as well. You know they're going to be having to play catch up. Justin Fields, not sure how high his confidence is, especially without his owner actually liking him as a human being. So I would go with Marcus Mariota and kind of set it and hope for the best on Monday night. Appreciate the comment and hit that subscribe if you can. I know this is the first live on YouTube. I'm really liking it though, so we'll definitely try to make these a routine going forward for you guys. Let's see, we got 3 minutes left. Drop your records in the chat below. I'm curious how you guys have been doing, what your feel is of your team, whether you need to make that playoff push, or if you're pushing for the bye in your league. Hopefully, I've been helping you out. I know a lot of the pre-draft takes have really come up huge. Let's see. All right. If no questions come up here in the last like 2-3 minutes here, I will start to end this now. I know we're winding down, so everyone get excited for the matchups. I think it's going to be a great week 8. A lot of high scoring games. I think there's a lot of dogs that could be active in this game. I think a lot of underdogs are catching too many points, so wouldn't be surprised if they end up scoring a whole lot. So let's see. Perfect. All right. So if there is no more comments, I will close it out there. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. This was a fun first time, and good luck. Best of luck in week 8.